Would you like an idea for making fast, easy, fun Christmas cards from 12 by 12 pattern paper without making a bunch of scraps? Hi, I'm Jess from JessCrafts.com, paper crafter of over 20 years and creator of paper busting templates which help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get making. Today I have 2 sheets of Hey Santa paper from Crate Paper. I did find this paper at an arts and crafts thrift store near me. It's from a couple of years ago, but I will leave you a link to other arts and crafts thrift stores. I made like a list over on jesscrafts.com, and it has arts and crafts thrift stores from like all over the US and a few in Canada as well. I am going to be using this one sheet here, which is called Sweet December, and that's going to be my the one that I cut without scraps. And then this other paper, which is Ho Ho Ho, I am going to be using this one just for the Santas. So I'm actually going to fussy cut out all of these Santas. And I won't be using them all on my cards today because I'm only making 6 cards. However, I am going to have them for future cards. When I saw this paper, I thought, it just, to me, seemed really great for embellishments, although I could see using it for many other things. And I liked the backside. It's a very simple neutral. This will, of course, make a bunch of scraps. There will be a bunch of paper, like all the insides, that I don't use, but I'm okay with that because this is a lot of embellishments why buy it at a thrift store, so even lower of a price. But I think it's a good way of approaching pattern paper sometimes, is seeing for the price of a piece of pattern paper, if you can get, I'm thinking there's probably at least 20 Santas, that's a pretty good deal in terms of embellishments, if you like fussy cutting. So when using tools like paper trimmers, please follow all manufacturers' safety instructions. Let's take a look at what we're going to do today. I do have a very similar template for 6x8 pattern paper and slimline cards, but I wanted to show you how you could create this with 12 by 12 paper. And I'm using a different directionality because the directionality of 6x8 patterned paper can be a bit specific. And now 12 by 12 pattern paper, it's a square, so it's a little bit more flexible there. But you also can always turn your sketches on their side if you want to work with a different directionality. But the way it's shown here will work with this sketch and will work with directional pattern paper. I'm not using directional pattern paper. I just like to call that out because I do know there is a lot of directional pattern paper. This Santa paper, of course, would be directional, for instance. So let's start by cutting off the branding strip and try not to cut anything like too much extra. I like to use the side of the paper where it's more clear where the edge of it is, whereas like with the black and white side, it might not be as obvious. All right, we are going to cut 6 4x3 rectangles and 6 8 by 1.5 inch rectangles. So I'm going to start by cutting my pattern paper to 8 by 12 and 4 by 12. One of my this section of 4 by 12 inches is going to be cut into the 3-inch panels. So I'll do that. I just measure backwards so I don't have to bring it to 3 inches every time. So 9 and then 6 and then 3. And then this second piece of pattern paper, I am going to cut 2 4x3 panels from the bottom, but I have to cut my 1.5 inch. And I do like to cut those first just because they're a little bit smaller. And so I will have plenty of paper left to cut my 4x3 inches. So I'm just going to subtract 1.5 inches all across the top till I've cut 6 of them. So that's 2, 3, and I'll know to stop when I get to the 3-inch mark. But it's important to keep count because if you make a mistake there, then you won't be able to create the cards exactly as shown, and you will have to kind of try to figure out how to switch things up to make the pattern paper work. So now I have 3 by 8 inches left. I will cut that in half to 2 3 by 4 inches. And now I have all the patterned paper that I need. I will often, when I'm working with many multiples, if I'm just making like 2 cards, I'm less likely to do something like this, but it can be helpful when I'm making more cards to sort my pieces. Also, in this case, I'm not too worried about keeping my pieces sorted because there's only 2 pieces per card. So I'm unlikely to lose track of the pieces, but if you have lots of pieces, trays can be really helpful. Okay, the next step is to cut some cardstock mats. I'm gonna work with some teal cardstock for the mats because I thought, I see the teal over here in some of the Santas. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6 Santas with the teal background, so I could use all of those Santas on the card, but when I was looking at this, I noticed there was no real green in these patterned papers, so I thought it was an opportunity to do something fun with the color of cardstock in the background, and I like blue at Christmas. I also do notice that this patterned paper isn't very Christmassy in a sense of like there's just snowflakes and then red, so I think that I could choose not to put a Santa on some of them and put a different embellishment and then make more like general holiday cards. So just little things to think about in terms of extending your stash. So this is 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock, and some of the mats that I'm going to need, I generally do 1/4 inch bigger mats. So I'm going to have 8.25 by 1 3/4 inch mats. So I could start by just cutting 1/4 inch off the side of this, so bring it from 8.5 to 8.25. The reason to do that would be that I don't have to then cut a little bit off of each one, so that's up to you. I think that I will do this even though it might mean that I'm left with a piece of paper at the end that could have been used for something else. I'm going to take that risk. So I'm now going to subtract 1 3/4 inch to get as many of the mats that I need for this particular, for those like strips that go in the background out of this patterned paper as possible. So I was actually able to get exactly 6 out, well not exactly 6, because I do have, these are what's left in terms of scraps. So this is the 1/4 inch that I cut off, and then this here is what was left after I measured 1 3/4 6 times. So pretty efficient on cardstock there, and I'll show you how the other pieces are actually pretty efficient on cardstock as well, but I'll put those off to the side because those might become fake foam tape for me. So here I have another piece of 8.5 by 11, and the other size of mat I need is 4 by 3 to become 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm gonna take this to be 3 1/4 by 8.5. Then I cut that in half, and 8.5 in half is 4 1/4. So I can repeat that 2 more times. I'm bringing this to 6.5 and then 3 1/4. So just doubled it. Cut all these cardstock mats out, and then out of 2 full sheets of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, all I have left, once I've cut all the mats that I need, are these 3 pieces. These, like I said, I could glue them together to make fake foam tape, or I could use this scrap is big enough. I think that I could save it for something else as well. So let's talk about how I would then assemble the card. I want to make sure I go slow with the measurements and really clear with that, so that if you don't have the template, you could still follow along. But now we are on to kind of just the assembly and embellishment stage. And if you look at the sketch, then you'll see that this strip in the background, it's not quite centered top to bottom. It's just like a little bit more towards the bottom. You could change that up, of course, if you would like. And then it is centered left to right. Then this 3 by 4 inch panel comes a little bit to the left. Of course, you can mix things up. You could center the whole thing if that looked better to you, however you like to do it, because this is a full piece in the background. Another thing I would personally think about as I was assembling these is like, is there a particular side of the snowflake? So if I do want to have it offset like this, I can see a whole snowflake here. So it makes it more clear that it's a snowflake paper. I don't think that even if there wasn't, it would still look good. Because like if I flip it the other way, now there isn't a whole snowflake, but I also noticed this has just a little bit more white area than this side. So I usually just kind of like play around a little bit and just see how I best like the arrangement. And then for my sentiment, I have this Oh So Jolly sentiment. It is from Mama Elephant. It's also a little bit older, but I thought about, this is like it's not all one color, but it's a pretty simple design. So I thought that a large sentiment would go well on it and be very readable, especially a sentiment that has a little bit thicker of a font. And I knew that my Santa embellishments were kind of small compared to the overall size, so I thought I would have enough room for a large sentiment as well. So then I die cut my sentiment out of the same piece of cardstock that I'm using for my mat here. So I will die cut one of these out of each of one of these mats. I didn't choose to die cut anything out of here. This is Park Lane cardstock. It's white core. It's not my absolute favorite for die cutting, so I'm kind of in the mode of just using it up, honestly. So I'm not worried about using every little piece of it. But here it's really nice to have that coordination. It also pulls the blue into another part, so rather than it just being the mats, it's now the sentiment as well. So I could choose not to use a blue Santa to reincorporate it, and in fact opens me up to using some of the other Santas. So then in terms of fussy cutting, in general, I'm just going to share a couple of quick tips. I'm not an expert in any way at this, but my experience tells me that it's easier to cut from a smaller sheet, so I cut out like a chunk of the Santas rather than trying to cut out of the 12 by 12 sheet. And then even still here, I would probably cut out like just a few. So then as I am fussy cutting around it, I'm not trying to necessarily be exactly on the lines. These aren't perfect ovals by any means, so I don't have to be perfect, which is one of the reasons this appealed to me. And then I generally try to move my pattern paper, cut a little bit, then, reposition. And so that way I'm not like ever completely kind of cutting down with my scissors until towards the end. I like to kind of leave it a little bit further back in the scissor. That's what works for me. And you can see, again, I didn't try to keep to the lines perfectly. It kind of depends on what you're personally going for, what you're trying to fussy cut. Even if you are trying to fussy cut something where you need to stick to the lines a bit more, I still think that moving the paper around, making your paper a little smaller to start with, and focusing on using the more inner part of the scissor rather than constantly using the tip of the scissor can help quite a bit. And so I have another quick Santa. I'll try to finish him up. So I do tend to go a little bit slow just so that I'm more successful the first time, but I also kind of have to hold it a bit of a different angle when I'm cutting on camera. Okay, so here I have my Santa. I would probably arrange it so if my Santa's eyes are facing one way or the other, I would probably put the sentiment in the same direction that the Santa is looking. And then I think when I'm just kind of like playing around and thinking in the moment, like how would I address this? So here, if I put the jolly on top, I would want to make sure it doesn't overlap Santa's face, but it could overlap the circle a little bit. And in fact, I like when elements on the card interact. So I like my sentiment, even if it's like on a banner or something like that, to overlap my image, or the other way, have the image overlap the sentiment. I think here it can be a little bit tricky because it can make it harder to read if you put the image over the sentiment, but if your sentiment had like an outline die, that might still allow it to be easy to read. Or if you had like a sentiment banner where you were just covering parts that the sentiment wasn't on, that would be another way. But here, because it is really just the words, I think I'm going to have the words overhang the Santa, and I'm okay with letting them both kind of come outside of the red a little bit. In fact, I think that can really add to it as long as it's not making it hard to read. If you have your elements kind of coming outside of the box and not so contained, it adds to a more like fun and whimsical look, which I think because of the Santas and this font and the playful colors, like that is really what we're going for. We're not going for that more of like a classic or elegant look where we might want to have things maybe a little bit more lined up. Because of course, if you could just put this sentiment right here and the card could be finished. And that would give it a little bit of a different look too. But I like this more like, I think the Santas are very fun and whimsical, and so I think it adds a lot to the card overall, and they're really fun and easy to cut out. When I went to complete the rest of the cards, I accidentally put the tape for the long strip on the wrong side. And so most of the cards are kind of created with just one patterned paper, but I thought it looked good and it would have been wasteful to tear them off, so I went with it. But those are my 6 completed cards today. If you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.